Could the Cubs go over the luxury tax at some point this season? Let's go.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into a discussion with you on all things Cubs. Thank you for being part of the show and making Locked On Cubs your first listen today. And the best way you can help us grow the show is to listen every day, like the video, and comment anything below. We have a good time here, in case you haven't noticed. Today's Tuesday episode is presented by FanDuel. Make every moment more with FanDuel. New customers join today. You'll get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet of $5 or more wins. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. According to FanGraphs, the Cubs are currently projected with a payroll of $223 million, which is the 8th largest in baseball. The Cubs' luxury tax payroll currently stands at about 234.5 M's, which is about only 2.5 M's under the first threshold of 237. There are 4 thresholds this season, starting at that 237 number, with increasingly sharp penalties for surpassing each threshold. Sam, we're going to talk money again today, and if the Cubs should exceed that first threshold and operate in a place of more spending, if it's money well spent, then maybe even prior to opening day on March 28th.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
You know, obviously, we got a couple different things going on. You got the long sleeve button down.
We haven't changed yet.
I'm wearing this sort of short sleeve hoodie thing. Brought out my Cub hat for the first time because I have a lot of laundry and stuff. So the luxury tax, look, I personally don't think they're going to go over before the season starts. I think we're all going to see the Jordan Montgomery deal, and we're all going to be pretty upset.
Okay.
The answer of should they is yes, a resounding yes. It's not my money, so yes, they should.
Right.
My prediction would be,
could they though? Could they? Do you think?
Do they? Yes.
Or I guess the better question is, do they then?
Yeah, no, I don't think they do that before the deadline. But what I would like to see them do, what I think they're going to do is they're going to take a good long look at this club.
Oh, so even before the deadline in July, you don't think
No, I mean, excuse me, before the season. I misspoke.
Okay.
I think they're going to take a good long look at this club. And if they think that this team could win a division title at the trade deadline, they will go over the luxury.
Okay.
I don't see it happening unless they could get him for like the Imanaga type of deal or like 15, 16 million where it's just such a big bargain. Because I got to tell you, one thing, it's spring training and it's very early days. And Wicks threw the ball fine on Monday afternoon. He seems to be the leader in the clubhouse for that deal. I'd like to see some more bats being missed from everybody right now across the board. 8 innings today, 3 strikeouts again. I want to see some fireballers. I want to see some bat missers. We never really got to the bottom why Cade Horton hasn't gotten many looks in this spring. Maybe we'll talk about Tyone. I think he's going to actually pitch this week. We haven't really seen him. But the point I'm trying to make is they really could use a Jordan Montgomery. And I would love for them to do that, but I just, based on what Mr. Ricketts has said, I don't know how plausible that is. But I do think if this team is about 7, 8, 9 games over 500 at the trade deadline, just basically where they were at last year, maybe a little bit farther along, they will take that leap of faith.
So the should question is answered because we're fans. Of course, they should spend. The could is out there too. So I guess the more appropriate question as I produce on the air really is, do the Cubs actually go over that luxury tax threshold? Because yes, as you point out, they could also exceed it in July around the deadline. Maybe the Panda Express comes over. What's Pete Alonso's name again?
That's going to be the Polar Bear.
The Polar Bear.
Yeah.
I see. Well, maybe we'll edit that out.
No,
And
no. Keep it in, man. People
and
need to know that it's Monday. It's Monday for everybody.
Blake Snell and Jordan
Man,
Montgomery.
Not really sure like how those two intertwine. I mean, I could use a little orange chicken.
Yeah. Their Mongolian chicken's good too.
Yeah, right.
Go Cubs.
So Blake Snell and Jordan Montgomery are both still on the market, as we know. And I have to say, and I think you're prepping me a couple minutes ago, because if there's a chance that one of these brothers, especially Montgomery, signs a short-term deal like Cody Bellinger and Matt Chapman did, then I think that's going to sting for me.
I know it is.
And if we should get prepared for that, I will be disappointed by that, and I will be slightly upset. Because the most recent reporting does seem to indicate that Snell and Montgomery are going to hold out for length. Montgomery would be cheaper than Snell, even on a shorter term deal. So I think that's in part why he's a better fit anyway on the north side. But Steele, Montgomery, Tyone, and Managa Hendricks, that rotation right there, that's going to do it, as they say in the business. That's going to play. So, an AAV that starts with the 1 that the Cubs don't do, that's going to be interesting to take a look at. Now, if that's for a long-term deal, just out of the blue, okay, but something short-term, maybe even higher AAV, perhaps it is the time to strike, especially with Montgomery. And then you operate, if you do go over the threshold, or if you have aspirations to, Sam, where do they operate from there? Because then you have 20 M's to play with, because the second threshold isn't until 257. So I do wonder if they commit to going over, what that looks like for possibly July, because if they feel like they could contend, maybe they get aggressive in the trade market. That could be wild.
I think the Cubs having major financial restrictions about luxury tax, especially the first one, is unacceptable. So, I've said that on the show multiple times. I will continue to say that, especially when you have a young man like Montgomery who, really is a difference maker. He's the type of guy, if you have a 3-game series,
okay,
in the postseason, and you are playing, let's hypothetically say, the Arizona Diamondbacks at Wrigley Field,
wow,
and Justin Steele started game 1, and Kyle Hendricks started game 2. And it's 1-1, and you're throwing Jordan Montgomery out, you're probably going to be favored. That's worth a lot of money. Like, that's a big thing.
Yeah, it's well spent.
And who knows, who knows what happens with Cade Horton. I'm getting ready to do this preview show with the rest of the Locked On.
Yeah.
And my main thing is there's so many, to use my dad's word on this program, intriguing questions about this team. What's going to happen with Cade Horton? When is he going to be up? When's PCA going to be up? Is this Owen Casey thing for real? Right. Can Morel play? I really believe that the Cubs, and I don't think this is a good or a bad thing, but I really do believe the Cubs have as many organizational questions that will be answered this year as any team in all the bigs. And I think you could answer one of those questions right away by just signing Jordan Montgomery.
Absolutely.
And, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, I'm excited for you doing that preview. We'll promote that once it gets published. But yeah, it would be a great fit. And let's plan for Wednesday to update each other on Jamison Tyone, because there is some indications on why he is being delayed to game action. And it has to do with his front foot. So I don't know if you saw that, but the way he strides now on the mound is the reason why he's in a controlled environment. They're delaying him to game action. So
what?
Yeah, the way he strides towards home plate.
What do you mean?
Well, is
he hurt?
He's just changing his stride. Something in the data said he should change it.
Oh, okay. As long as he's not hurt, man.
Yeah, well, I don't know anything about him being hurt.
All right, let's just stay healthy. Whatever. Stride left, stride right, stride down the middle, get people out, miss bats. Throw 180 innings. ERA in the mid threes. I don't care if he strides backwards, dude. I don't care if he
Of
throws
course.
underhand, sidearm, short
Of
arm,
course you don't.
submariner. We could have Lance Brodowski on this program, and he could break that stuff
Do you
down.
want to try to? I'd reach out to
Yeah,
him.
we had a little Twitter interaction yesterday, him and I.
Oh, wow. Well, that's fantastic. So maybe we will have guests on this show after all.
I learned about, anyone that teaches me about the game is more than welcome to come on our program. And that is future opening day third baseman Miles Mastrobuoni. I will be reaching out to him to make his second appearance on this program. I want him on this club.
Well, perhaps bi-weekly appearances or something like that.
I want him on this ball club.
Well, we're going to talk about the position that he's auditioning for coming up next. Please welcome a brand new sponsor to Locked On Cubs Nation, Sam, and everybody that's listening on audio and video. Welcome to Prize Picks. Whether it's tournament season or the fight for the playoff home court, there's no shortage of high-stakes hoops moments this time of year. Plus, baseball season is right around the corner. Get in on the excitement with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app, where you can turn your sports knowledge into serious cash. Prize Picks is really simple to play, with your entries taking less than 60 seconds to submit, turning $10 into $1,000 with just a few taps of your screen. Right now, the Prize Picks board for the MLB season has plenty of players and stats to choose more or less on. And there's 3 Cubs that are featured on the board right now. Christopher Morel, more or less 26.5 home runs.
More.
Justin Steele, more or less 170.5 strikeouts.
Ooh. Less.
And Shota Imanaga, more or less 150.5 strikeouts.
More.
Download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. That's a first deposit match of $100 by using code LOCKEDONMLB. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. We're back here on Locked On Cubs, talking third base competition. Christopher Morel, Nick Madrigal, and Miles Mastrobuoni. There's a couple other dudes that we'll talk about in a couple of minutes that might be waiting in the wings, or they've still remained in the organization. Particularly one guy who we know from his 2018 theatrics. So this trio, Sam, Morel, Madrigal, and Mastro, are the leaders right now over at third base. And Nick Madrigal, as of this recording time, did suffer a leg injury on Monday. His timetable is unknown moving forward, but he's had a lot of leg injuries in the past.
Too many.
Morel is playing well so far in his 5 or 6 games. Entering today, Madrigal was 3 for 12. Mastro's 5 for 12 with a homer and a stolen base. Are we taking stock on where this is at right now? If you had to write the lineup out, who would be at third?
Well, Counsell said today publicly, Monday afternoon, that this is not going to be a so-and-so wins the job after spring training. It's going to be solved as the season goes. You know me, Matt, I love to read between the lines. What I read between the lines is there's going to be some platoon action there. Yeah. But with Morel getting a lot of looks at third, that means, he's probably going to get some time at third base as a right-handed hitter. Mastro will get some time as well. Nick Madrigal really, in my opinion, cannot afford to be injured. Right. I really believe that. My guess is he will make the team because of his defense over there. It's pretty sure-handed. But it's pretty interesting. My guess is right now, opening day, I probably would lean towards Mastro starting at third, Morel DHing. versus the right-handed pitcher.
Mhm.
But, we'll see. I mean, Counsell said that doesn't mean anything. Morel could eventually win the job. Maybe somebody comes out and wins the DH job that you can't miss. So you try Morel at third. But, I'm really interested to see. I think Madrigal is a sneaky guy to watch. If he's out for a while, he just hasn't done enough in a Cub uniform. I mean, he had a couple really nice, good moments last season. I thought he really adjusted and played solid defensively at third. I think he's a good, solid baseball player, but part of his value is he needs to be healthy. He's just not a good enough player to be able to miss time and go through all those things. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I would lean towards Mastro right now, and then Morel being the DH at opening day. But we got a month, so there's a lot that could transpire.
Yeah, maybe Morel plays third against lefties.
Yeah, maybe.
Or something like that. And Mastro's pretty much over there against righties, and then comes off the bench in a pinch in the other times. Madrigal, yeah, his value right now is such that, if he's injured, then it's not that they could almost pay him no mind, but he just doesn't bring that much to the table. And what he does bring, maybe Mastro is excelling more at that. Or maybe somebody has taken a stronger position, not necessarily at third, but just on the roster in terms of bench and depth and things like that, where his value is even lessening more because he's somebody that puts the ball in play. He doesn't strike out a lot. Maybe he could steal a base. Maybe he could play the last 6, 7, 8, 9 outs. If he doesn't open the game. So
I believe Mastroboni was 9 for 9 as a Chicago Cub last year in steals.
Yeah, I thought it was maybe even more than that.
Maybe 13 for 14. Maybe let me hear. Well, you know what?
Yeah. He's really good at stealing bases. And then of 13. Course, he had 13 steals.
Yep, 13 steals.
I mean, you could see him in the last couple innings of every game if he doesn't start.
He was 13 for 14, especially if PCA doesn't make the team because you need that speed. He was 13 for 14 in steals and then 9 for 9 at AAA. So quick math, that's going to be 22 out of 23.
Yeah, that's really good. What does Counsell want him to do? Does he want him to steal a bag against a righty? Does he want him to lay a bunt down? Does he want him to make a pinch hit appearance? So there's different things on the table there. And then you have Matt Shaw waiting in the wings, who's gotten off to a nice start. Not a hot start necessarily, but definitely a good one.
Eye test. He just passes the eye test,
right?
He just passes the eye test in the box. But he's a guy you look at again. How many times
we get a lot of questions on him.
How many times last year did we say during the month of March how important a good start is for the Cubs? One of the reasons why a good start this year is so crucial is because when they get to June, July, and August, they are going to have this influx of talent.
Yeah.
Horton, PCA, Casey, maybe Shaw. All these young gentlemen could come in and start really contributing. So you want that to mean something, and I think it will.
Did you mention Ben Brown?
Well, I don't know. I'm a little.
Well, he's probably projecting best as a 1-inning guy.
Yeah, I gotta watch him a little bit more.
Yeah,
a little too many walks for my taste.
And then finally, because we're thorough here, David Bodie is 4 for 14 with 3 homers this spring. He's making 5.5 M's this year before the Cubs can buy him out for $1 million before 25.
Well, maybe the Cubs could attach something and give him to a team, and they could take on the salary.
Right, because he's part of the reason the luxury tax number is high.
You can get that luxury tax thing. Here's David Bodie, and here's another a mid-level prospect. Give him to the Nationals and let him go see if he can rake over there, and then that 5.5 becomes free, and you make a big move at the deadline. You trade Drew Smiley.
Fantastic.
I mean, you got to say real quick before you get into your break. I mean, you really now understand the value of how important it is not to mess up contracts. Say they didn't sign Drew Smiley, that's another $9 million that frees off.
That's a lot.
The Mancini, That's
the ghost of Mancini and Barnhart count towards the luxury tax.
So let's just go right now. $9 million for Smiley, or 8 or whatever it is. What I believe it's 7 of dead money in Mancini. There's 16. 5 David Bodie, 21. Barnhart was what, about 2.5?
Yeah, I think it was 3.5.
Yeah. So there's $24 million, dude. Plus the 3.5 they're under. There's your Jordan Montgomery.
That's Jordan Montgomery. You should tweet that tonight.
I don't want to be negative right now.
Oh, okay.
People are really. I'm really trying.
People are edgy.
Well, I'm really trying to, instead of be like a glass is 90% empty guy, I'm trying to get to a half empty, half full type of thing. So, I'm going to save that for later. But it's just a reminder, don't just throw money at anybody. The Drew Smiley thing, and then, Tyone, if he doesn't start pitching, that's 17, dude.
Well, that's a lot. That was a big investment. Well, no, he's going to pitch. He's going to pitch well. Hopefully.
Yeah, he better, because they're paying him to.
Coming up next, trivia. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Get buckets with your first bet on FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, because right now new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. It's $150 if your bet wins. Bet on all your favorite NBA players and teams with quick bets, live same-game parlays, exclusive props, and more. Did the Celtics' big win over the Warriors Sunday, does that mean they are really closer to solidifying themselves as contenders, Sam?
Oh, well, they're 48-12, dude.
Well, I just mean championship contenders.
Yeah, no, contenders. No, they're the favorite.
Right. So.
You know what I mean?
And who's the MVP favorite right now?
That's gonna be Denver Nuggets, legend and already 2-time MVP Nikola Jokic.
Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn and shoot your shot. FanDuel, official partner of the Locked On Podcast Network.
The Celtics may win 65 games, dude.
Wow, that'd be historic.
And I still don't trust them.
Oh, wow. We're going to close out with trivia here on a Tuesday.
Yeah, I got to get moving, dude.
Trivia Tuesday. Yeah. And it's on 2020, Sam.
Okay, great.
What was the opening day lineup in 2020?
And I really, it stinks that, because I have a trivia question that I got the other day. I think it was from Marquis or somebody that I absolutely nailed that I kind of want to test you on. But all right, I'll do a 2020. Oh,
well, we want to do that one instead?
Well, no, let me. I actually think I'm going to get this right. So, Kyle Hendricks started. He threw a complete game shutout.
Right.
Ian Happ hit a home run off Brandon Woodruff.
Yep.
And I believe Anthony Rizzo homered in that game. I think it was a 3-0 Cub final. So there's Rizzo, Happ, and Hendricks right there for you. Right. I believe the catcher was current St. Louis Cardinal affiliate Wilson Contreras.
That's right.
Horner was there. Bryant was there.
Yeah.
Baez was there. Man, this was everybody's favorite guy. Schwarber was there. Happ was there.
Who was in right field?
Hayward.
Right.
And then they had a DH.
That's all you got left.
Was it somebody weird like Souza?
No, he didn't start that.
Was it the backup catcher and Cub killer Victor Caratini?
Yes, it was.
Terrific.
Okay, nice job.
Real quick, you want to hear mine?
Yeah, let's do that to close out.
I don't want to put you on the spot. This is kind of tough. Right. What was the lineup with Kerry Wood at his 20 strikeout game?
Was it Sammy Sosa and right?
Yeah, dude.
Was it Glenn Allen Hill and left?
No, I don't think he was in there.
Oh, okay.
Which is actually a good guess, and I didn't even guess him.
Kevin Ory at third.
Kevin Ory at third, and the left fielder, he's a lefty with some pop.
Henry Rodriguez.
Correct.
Okay. Was the center fielder?
This is tough. This is the toughest one. This one took me a while.
Oh, it was? So let me skip that for now.
Skip that one.
Jeff Blauser at short.
Awesome.
Mickey Morandini at second.
This is fantastic.
First base, I'm running into a wall.
Oh, you shouldn't be, because he's one of the best hitters in this history of this franchise.
Oh, Mark Grace.
That's correct.
Okay. The catcher was Sandy Martinez.
This is one of the greatest days of my life.
And The center fielder was probably Lance Johnson, right?
No, the center fielder was tough. It was kind of like it was a young guy that they really liked at the time that had I believe he had a walk-off homer against the Sox in May. Brant Brown.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But that was well done.
Thank you. Yeah, that was quicker than I thought.
Yeah, I got to hop on to another program.
Yes. Sam's going to go do the Locked On NL Central preview. Thank you for checking out this edition of Locked On Cubs. You give us 20 to 30 minutes and we'll give you all things Cubs with a laugh or two along the way. Be sure to hit subscribe on YouTube, smash the like button for the algorithm, and leave a 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, and everywhere you get your podcast. He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.
Brant Brown.
Go Cubs.